let's look at what I just did on the slideshow in a real life example. So on our screen you see we have a Mozilla Thimble example open, we have our index.html, we also have our style.css, and what you'll notice in the HTML side is that in our preview we can see we have our title, and we also have this element called My Cool Website, and it's also H1. So just like the slideshow, I'm going to show you guys how to change your H1 into a red H1. So now we're on the style.css side. So the first step to change our H1 from black to red is we're going to type in the selector for it. We're going to type its name, which is just plain old H1. And now the next step is to create the declaration block where we're going to put our properties and values. So I'm going to make an open curly bracket and a closing curly bracket. So remember, it's really important for our syntax to be accurate. We need an opening and a closing bracket to declare that this is where our code begins and ends for our H1. So here we have these good old curly braces, and I'm going to format it in a way that's easier for me to read. In the code for our body in our CSS, you'll notice that we have the curly brace up here, and then we have it down there, and then all of our properties and values are indented. That's the way that I'm going to continue to format my CSS. And I do this because it's easier for the eye to see what's happening. So to start the formatting correctly, I'm going to hit return. And what's nice about Mozilla Thimble is that when I hit return in our CSS, it automatically puts the curly brace down here, and then it starts us off in an indented part. And a lot of text editors for code like Sublime or maybe Text Wrangler will do this for you, which is really nice. Alright, so to get back, I'm going to change my H1 from black to red. Can you guys guess what I'm going to type in next for the property? Alright, so if you guessed color, you're correct. And what's great also is you'll notice Mozilla Thimble is trying to help us out, is trying to fill in the blanks, which is really great. So I'm just going to hit return, and there I see color, I have the colon. We're on our way to changing this from black to red. So the next step is I can either write red out as a hexadecimal value, or I can write it out as a letter value. So for this example, I'm going to start off with hexadecimal. So to do that, I'm going to write a hashtag, and then the code for red is FF0000. So what we have here is we have the property that we're changing, and then we have the value of the property. Can you guys remember what we have to do to close this out? If you guessed semicolon, you are correct. So you might have noticed that my element might have changed red even without the semicolon. While yes, it's true, the code worked, even though it wasn't perfect. The thing is, if we don't have our good punctuation now, it's possible we can mess up our code later just because our syntax is off. So get into the habit. Opening bracket, closing bracket, colon, semicolon, and then you're good. Alright, well let's say that I want to do something else. Maybe I want to change my font family or something like that. I can make this a little bit more pizzazzy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it up a little bit more just to show you guys that you can put tons more properties and values in your declaration block. I'm going to hit return. Let's think. Maybe I want the font size to be bigger. So I'm going to type font dash size, and since I see that Thimble's trying to help me out, I'm going to just hit return, and it gives me the property. And let's see, maybe I want it to be bigger. I'm just going to play around with some numbers. How about 40 pixels? Ooh, that's a little bit bigger. How about 100? Oh my gosh, that's huge. How about 55? All right. I'm pretty satisfied. Yeah, that's the end. We'll edit more things, guys. All right, so we accomplished our goal and some. We changed our H1 element to from black to red, and we even did a little bonus thing. We changed the font size. So remember, don't forget to use proper syntax, meaning don't forget to close your code. And don't forget to have fun and experiment with what you're doing, because it's fun.